Okay. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. Of course, I'm your host, Alex, here to talk college ball, talk about my week one recap. You saw my last video. You probably heard that I let you know that I had COVID. That's why I wasn't on camera. I'm finally starting to get over it. It's taking me a couple weeks. It took me a couple weeks the first time I had it. This is the second time I had it. So, uh, I don't know. I guess I'm not as lucky as others. This is gonna be kind of just a recap of week one and my picks. I mean, you guys all seen what's happened across college football in week one. Gonna see here at the top of the screen, I have my overall straight up record, right? Because I made these picks. But if you listen to my recap last week and starting with the first game with Colorado, I'd let you know Colorado's gonna compete with TCU. Now I picked TCU because I thought the defense would ultimately be the deciding factor in the game. A 20-point dog, I'll let you know that wasn't gonna happen. So kudos to those who listened to that advice and took Colorado with the 20. But Colorado, man. I mean, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, looking like some new young stars in college football. Dylan Edwards at running back was making plays out of the backfield, catching the ball. Gonna be a great all-purpose back for them. Defensively, they gave up tons of plays. I don't think that TCU offense is very explosive or as explosive as they looked. That could be defensively. They've got some questions that they got some things they got to answer to keep this improvement going. But offensively, I mean, when have you seen Colorado's offense that explosive, right? So you got to give it up to Coach Prime. He had a lot of haters out there, not me. Obviously, I'm I, you don't have that kind of success at Jackson State, a team that's never had success. Sure, it's at an FCS level, but they've never had success. So for him to go there and have success, that tells you right there that he's a great coach. So it's not a surprise that he goes to Colorado, attracts a ton of great players, and a ton of great coaches, and immediately has success week one. Explosive offense, like I said, defensively they've got some things they got to work out because I'm telling you right now, I don't think TCU's offense is like that. So there's some things they definitely got to address. That's a hell of a first start. TCU, that's a pretty. You're a 20-point favorite and you lose, so that's an embarrassing loss, right? There's no other way you can slice it. Um, I think that I think defensively they got some things they got to answer because that was supposed to be their strong unit. That was supposed to be their strong point of this team. And ultimately, what I think is going to end up being kind of mediocre. I mean, if you remember my preview from before the season, I thought the Big 12 was stank. Outside of Texas, I thought the entire Big 12 was just a whole bunch of blah, right? So they've got some questions they got to answer if they don't want to have a really bad season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But once again, I want to give big kudos to Coach Prime. Let's see what he gets done this season. How far he can take it. UVA, Tennessee. I picked the Vols. This was a pretty easy pick. They might even have covered. I think they absolutely woodshedded. Yeah, UVA is just a team with really just. If we're talking about the Power Five, they might have the worst talent. Entire Power Five. There's just nothing on that team. Offensively, defensively, they don't have a quarterback, and their quarterback, Tony Muskie, got hurt in the game, I believe, and I'm not trying to pile on the kid, but I mean, we're not talking about Dan Marino here, you know. Uh, just there's just this is a season where I don't know when you can contact. Excuse me. I don't know when you can contact players, when players can enter a name in the portal or anything like that. But UVA needs to look at players in the portal and just take a Deion Sanders approach or a Florida State approach and bring in tons of transfer players because there's nobody on that team who can play. Not at this level. Tennessee Tennessee looked great. Is an overmatched opponent though. They picked up right where they let off. Joe Milton had a really good game at quarterback, filling in for Hendon Hooker now, who's moved on to the NFL. Um, Brew McCoy didn't even really get off that game, so he's gonna get off this season at wide receiver. Yeah, I think he's a player, and so they're off to a running start. Ohio State, Indiana. This game was a little sluggish. Ohio State didn't look that explosive early on as you would have thought. The final score in this game was 23-3. Didn't cover in this one. I thought they would have absolutely wrecked this team. I think Indiana. Nothing's changed my mind about Indiana. I mean, they had a couple of linebackers in there who were making plays, couple transfer guys, but Indiana can't score. I mean, I didn't think they had talent defensively either, but especially offensively. Outside of Cam Camper, I think is a pretty good receiver. He's a solid player, but not that much of a. I mean, how are these guys going to score? Is a big question for Indiana going forward. Ohio State, Kyle McCord. It wasn't the best start for him. This is supposed to be the Kyle McCord era. Looking at the quarterbacks, I think he's definitely the best one. And he has some moments where, yeah, you could see the tools. Man, he's got to put it together, man, because he's driving a Ferrari right there, and he was going about 25 miles an hour. So Ohio State's got some stuff they got to work out. And this is my national champion picks here, so I'd like to see them, get on the ball there. West Virginia, Penn State. This was a pretty easy walk-through win for Penn State. It won 38-15. I said this game would be close for about a half because I respected the West Virginia running game. I think they got some good backs there. I think they can run the ball. It was 14-7 at the half. So, it was right on the button there. Penn State ultimately pulled away in the second half, won 38-15, won by 23. Pretty easy win for Penn State. Drew Allar had a really good game, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. So he, much like Kyle McCord, a 5-star quarterback who's finally getting his shot, he stepped up and he stepped up and performed. So that's something that if you go back to Ohio State, that's something they need to Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord kind of following that same pace if he's that guy, obviously. UNC, North Carolina. So this was my lock of the week pick. If you remember from last week, UNC was 2.5-point favorite. This was free money. If you remember from our preview from the preseason, if you agreed with me, I thought South Carolina was the worst team in the SEC. I couldn't believe people were talking about them as if they were kind of a middle-of-the-pack SEC football team. They lost anybody who was any good on their defense last year, either graduated or transferred. They had 2 future NFL tight ends, in my opinion, in Austin Stogner and Bell. When I say NFL, they'll be on rosters. I'm not talking about game changers. But they'll be on rosters. Both of those guys transferred. Their O-line wasn't strong last year. It's not going to be strong this year. You got an inconsistent quarterback in Spencer Rattler. I mean, what the hell were people talking about when they were talking about South Carolina was going to be a middle-of-the-pack team? So when I saw 2.5 with a UNC team that, sure, they got some issues, but you still have an NFL quarterback in Drake May. He's going to perform. He's going to make plays. This was easy money, man. You kidding me? Win by a field goal? So the final on that one was 31-17, won by 2 touchdowns. That was a pretty easy pick. And North Carolina's off the races. South Carolina's got a lot to answer for, or a lot to go over if they want to rebound from that. So LSU, Florida State. I should have went with my original idea here. I told you guys Florida State was a college football playoff contender. I thought LSU was going to be a very good team this year, but not exactly on that level. And LSU, they had a 3-point lead at halftime, 17-14. I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game. It was, and it turned out being a high-scoring game. But they had chances to be up probably 31-14 or 23-14 in the first half, and they didn't execute. Florida State made the second half adjustments, so kudos to them. And they couldn't be stopped in that second half and absolutely just bulldozed Tigers in the second half. Kudos to Mike Norvell and getting all those transfers to come in because they struggled to recruit at Florida State. In fact, I don't know if you guys noticed when they were starting to put in the backups, Florida State put in a recruited DB they had, and LSU immediately hit like a 60, 70-yard touchdown pass on something like that. So, like I said, I said before the season, it's going to be a one-shot deal for Florida State. 2023 is going to be a year for them, but I don't see it unless they're about to get a whole bunch of other great transfers to come in. I don't see it in 2024, but great start there. So I took the L on that one because I did have LSU winning that. And then finally, Clemson, Duke. And I picked Clemson. I didn't stick to my guns on this one. You guys saw my preview. I told you. I said, did you see Cade Klubnik last year? Because what told you he was that guy? Yeah, DJ's not here anymore, so you automatically think there's improvement? What did you see from Cade Klubnik last year that told you, oh, yeah, he's going to be it? He was a freshman last year. He eventually could be it, but you didn't see anything that was going to tell you, oh, he's going to be it. I said, Duke's got a squad, man. Duke's got a squad. You go into Wallace Wade, game 1 at night, when they got the whole offseason to prep, they got the whole offseason to get the fans hyped up because I'm sure Wallace Wade doesn't typically sell out. So you got something to sell to the fans to show out for this game. You got Riley Leonard, man. Duke, I said it. I said Duke got a squad. Duke's got a squad. If you listen to me, I said those 2 touchdowns, I take those 2 touchdowns if you guys listen to me. I didn't want to pick them straight up. I thought this was going to be a close game. I thought Clemson would have been able to score more than 7 points because the Duke secondary is a weakness in my opinion. I'm shocked that even Cade Klubnik, I thought at least would see some improvement. I was given the benefit of the doubt, and I just didn't see it, man. Duke washed them 28-7. So, hey, if you guys listened to me on that one and took the 2 touchdowns, props to you as well. I may have done that myself, but so great job there. Great job to Duke. They're flat out the better team. Clemson's got a lot of time to rebound. If you guys remember, I still picked them win the ACC. I thought they would. I don't have them as a college football playoff participant this year, right? So you could still win the ACC and all of that. I don't think they're going to the playoff. But I think they're a team that's going to grow as the season goes along. Klubnik's going to grow as the season goes along. Maybe he just needs more reps. And Will Shipley, I think he ran for over 100. I think he had like 17 carries, something like that. You got to give him the ball. I said he's the best player on the team. You got to give him the ball. He's your one guy who would be a Heisman candidate. If you gave him the ball enough. So I don't know. I think that's what they should do moving forward. It's kind of, you want to focus on your better players, but so Clemson's got to go back to the drawing board. Duke's going to be riding high off this win, and this is an opportunity where you want to kind of parlay this into something bigger. So anyway, that's my week 1 recap. I started out 4-3 with these picks. Not the greatest, but that's just straight up. If you guys listen to me, I hit on my lock of the week. I hit on the Duke plus 2 touchdowns. I hit on the Colorado with the 20. So if you guys hit on all those, you went 3-0 against the spreads this week or last week, and props to you. One real whiff here is I certainly would have had Ohio State, Washington, Indiana. So, whiffed on that one, but rest pretty much went about as I expected. So that's gonna be it for my recap video. Stay tuned, and please feel free to post anything in the comments on what you'd like to see, or any comments you'd like at all about college football. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I will be making my predictions for week 2 of the NCAA football season. I will have more games, as now we've got more games to pick from. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it before, and if you haven't noticed, I'm doing Power 5 only. If I pick an upset or something like that where I got a non-Power 5 beating a Power 5 team, I'll put it up here. But I'm strictly doing a Power 5 opponent. So you're not gonna see like Florida versus McNeese Saturday, stuff like that, or Florida State. I believe they're playing Southern Miss. That's not gonna be on. Um, but yeah, stay tuned on this next scene for my YouTube channel, and talk to you guys later.